friend. This is FRANZTERIOUS. And welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to learn on how to convince a customer to buy anything from you. Customers never buy because of product features. They buy because they perceive some benefit to those features. Unfortunately, most sales and marketing messages talk about features and let the customers try to figure out the benefits. That's asking your customer to do your heavy lifting for you. You'll get more customers, more quickly, if you communicate the benefits of using your product rather than the features it possesses. Here are 8 ways for doing so, based upon a conversation with one of my favorite sales gurus, Barry Rhyme. Number 1. Be natural and do not use scripts. Customers choose to call because they want to have a conversation with a real person, who will respond to their inquiries and answer the questions, even the unusual ones. If it were otherwise, clients would keep on browsing the website. For this reason, you should never use the ready-made conversation scripts. These kinds of pre-written replies sound unnatural to the client and create a feeling of an unwanted sale process. Customers are more willing to buy if they establish an emotional relationship with a consultant. Building such links will not be possible if the consultant reads aloud the previously prepared conversation scenario. So if you are wondering how to convince the customer to buy your product, do one thing: be natural and act like a human being. Data from the research by Bright Local shows that up to 60% of customers prefer to call small businesses if they have questions or concerns regarding their offering, or are interested in an offer. Phone calls also win if a customer expects to get information relatively quickly and values personal contact. Because of that, you should never use or impose ready-made conversation scenarios, so-called scripts, on your sales reps. In an ideal world, sales scripts should be used to guide the conversation and help your company's representative to cover the most important issues, or suggest words encouraging to buy. People are more willing to buy a rep does their best to build rapport and tries to connect with them. Such a bond won't be possible if the salesperson reads from a pre-written script and is afraid to go beyond the scheme. How to convince someone to buy something. Don't act like a robot. Number 2. Provide something more than is expected, a kind of bonus. People like bonuses. They help build positive emotions around your brand. They make customers feel happy and appreciated. As a result, the customers will strongly connect these positive emotions to your brand, and the chances are you won't be forgotten. Add samples, use a creative packaging system, add a funny note or an additional feature your customer didn't pay for but which might be useful for them. Essentially, do whatever it is to distinguish yourself from other similar sellers. Be unique and thoughtful, but bear in mind to target your customers appropriately so there is no faux pas. Number 3. Use names while talking with a client. Find out your client's name and use it from time to time. Psychological research shows that people like to hear their name and are much more likely to make a friendly relationship when the other side uses it. While having a conversation in Polish, pay attention to proper forms. In English, you can address the client by name without fear of committing a faux pas. However, it's not easy in Polish. Therefore, before you start addressing the client, ask them if they agree. With this technique, you will avoid awkwardness. If you do not want to offend the client, use the phrase, Mr., Miss. How to encourage customer to buy your product. Example is rather obvious: treat them as people, not as leads listed in a CRM system you use. Number 4. Give clear and detailed information. What kind of details might your customers expect? First of all, they need to know about the costs and methods of shipping. Do not forget to include information about restrictions, provided there are such. Are you shipping overseas as well? Great. Make sure to include that. It is an excellent idea to provide your customers with the shipping status once they have made a purchase, especially if the goods you offer are expensive or even luxurious. Furthermore, it is a common practice to reward the ones who spend more than an average customer with a free shipping. Number 5. Prove that your products are better than those offered by competitors. Highlighting the advantages of a product or service offered by your company is very important. Often, customers call companies to ask questions about the product to investigate the market. Therefore, if you have an opportunity, emphasize that your offer is better. If the offer is not cheaper, it is harder, but you can always mention that for a slightly higher price the customer receives a better product. Number 6. Keep initiating further conversation. Lead and initiate a conversation, ask open questions and give the interlocutor a chance to develop the topic. If you don't know how to convince a client, try this. Instead of saying, "So our product has this function," say, "Yes, our product has such a function, and I will gladly tell you how it works." Number 7. Specify the positive characteristics of the customer. Psychologists have proven that if we mention some client's positive aspects during the conversation, our attitude to them, they will try to act accordingly. How does this affect incoming calls and phone sales? When you talk to the client, try to highlight the importance of one. By saying, "You are one of our best clients," or "It's a pleasure to do business with you." In this way, you encourage the client to be the best customer. Number 8. Let your customers decide on the next steps. If you want to know how to convince someone to buy your product, follow our last advice. Use the power of psychology in your work and give your potential customer some autonomy by asking, "What would you like to do next?" Or, "What next steps can we take?" It will help you sound less like a salesman, and more like a consultant. This is one of the very important steps on how to convince people to buy your product. Of course, you can suggest some options to choose from or a few examples of the next steps. However, by bringing up this kind of question and letting the customer decide for themselves, without pushing or convincing towards any of the choices, you are sending a signal to the person you are talking to that their opinion matters. A sales call more often ends up as a success if a customer feels that they can make a choice and notice that their opinion is important. Conclusion. Incoming calls can be a great sales channel, and you need to know how to convince a customer to buy and how to move from questions about the product to a commercial offer. The psychological tricks presented above will certainly help you establish a good relationship with the client. Hopefully the legend best ways above will help you begin your journey. Hey, thank you for watching. Be sure to click subscribe, because more incredible content is on the way.